Archie, that's kind of the standout tie, isn't it, if we're selling a bit more of the romance of the cup?
I think so. That alongside Mansfield hosting Arsenal feels like a very significant tie. And given what Mansfield did to Burnley as well, and having been here in Macclesfield tonight, Jermaine, I tell you what, if Macclesfield can get that close to Brentford, then any game is open.
It is.
Have you got anything else to add?
Oh, my goodness me. Do you know what? I am really looking forward to that Wrexham Chelsea game. I think with what Wrexham have been able to achieve over the last few years, especially the back-to-back-to-back promotions, you look at the ownership model, what they're doing, the positivity around the place as well, and Chelsea with the new manager, Leon Rosenior, doing really, really good stuff there. You know, it'll be interesting to see how he overcomes that challenge on a personal level.
Wolves, Liverpool as well, Newcastle, Manchester City. That wasn't getting your juices flowing as much.
Not really, no.
Why not?
Because it's not.
Okay.
Do you know what? What it is, you sort of know what to expect from Liverpool. You sort of know what to expect from Manchester City. They're going to hog the ball. They'll dominate possession. They'll keep the ball. They'll move it as quickly as possible. They've got some world-class players in their team, and they'll ultimately end up, you know, in my opinion, I think they'll end up winning the game. But it wouldn't be an entertaining end-to-end game. Whereas when you're looking at the Wrexham v Chelsea, and then you look at the who did Arsenal?
Mansfield
Arsenal, sorry. They're exciting. This is what the FA Cup's all about. It's all about the underdogs having an opportunity, having a chance. And in those games, I feel like they're the best opportunities to see a possible upset.
Jermaine, thank you. And as we were across the whole of this weekend, we will be there for round 5 in a couple of weeks' time, Dan.
Thank you very much, boys. Much appreciated. Mario Melchiot joins us now to reflect on that draw, in particular, of course, Wrexham against Chelsea. Mario, you're loving it.
Cool, done.
Oh yeah, of
Cheers,
course.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
We couldn't have a better marketing situation, because this is perfect. You know, Wrexham, you know, the owners, they are very intelligent, and this is a perfect game for them. For Chelsea, I think this is going to be a tough game. Why? Because, I mean, the guys who are sitting in the studio already, we all know, when you play in England and you go into that stadium, oh my God, it's going to be tough. You better kick off from the get-go, because if not, They every chance they get, and I'm talking every chance, and I'm talking about, like, even if they get a throw in or they get a corner kick or a free kick, the fans are behind them like crazy. So you better get an early goal. If not, Chelsea might be not happy going there.
It's incredibly humbling.
Oh yeah.
It shows
Is there
you
any part you enjoy of it whatsoever?
I mean, it's always good to visit different grounds and different stadiums. You know, football was built on stadiums like this, you know, and so I think it's important for the players, especially players coming from abroad. You know, Arsenal was full of foreign players.
Yes.
For them to see that there are levels to this game, and that you can draw against these kind of teams is brilliant. I remember we drew against Sutton United one year. Yeah, and you know, that especially for the foreign players was amazing. You know, for them to be, you know, seeing Cesc Fabregas sitting in the dressing room in Sutton was you know, just an incredible thing. So I think it's definitely important that the cup brings that out of football. You know, so I love seeing this, and it's also, the environment is completely different. You know, when no disrespect to when these teams come to the big stadiums, you can almost feel that their emotion is distracted by, you know, the big lights, the 60,000 seaters. But when you go there, they are fully locked into the game.
Yeah.
So that's why I love it when big teams get drawn against the smaller ones.
Mario, what was it like for you? When you were playing for Chelsea, obviously Birmingham, West Brom, you must have gone to these sort of places, and it must have been a little bit of an eye-opener.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know what Kieran said. Also, because we're young boys, right? When you're a young boy, this is a normal field to play on. So this brings back memories of where you came from and where you are right now. And the thing is that the guys that play against you, for them it's like a final. For you, it's like getting to the final. So you better be ready for that. So that's why we had when I was at Chelsea, we played against Oxford, I think, quite a few times. And those guys, oh my God, it was like You know, like normally we in pre-season, we're taking it easy and we're taking it easy with tackles and stuff. No, they're making you feel like it was the last game of the season. So they're going at you. So you just have to be careful, I think. But now this is in the middle of the season when they go in there, you know, when you play each other, the pitches are wet, it's raining. It's just everything is perfectly for them instead of for you. You just have to make sure, win the game, stay fit, and go away healthy instead of like having a bad injury or trying to get like a stupid card.
You love it, Don. Oh, I love it. Takes you back as being a kid. You've got to embrace it. You know, like Mario said there, like we've all played when we're like sort of 9, 10, 11 into your teens and you're playing on mud pitches and it's like, just get stuck in. Go and like look at the environment and go like, this is a bit of me today. Like get dirty, do some slide tackles, have some shots, some tackles, crowd are involved, great atmospheres. That there, the Wrexham Chelsea, that's like the romantic side, isn't it? Yeah. The big draws and the big games, obviously Newcastle, Man City, that's the glamour game. But it's where the romance of the cup is when you're seeing teams that are down in League One or the Championship or League Two and they're facing the Premier League boys, you think, can they?
Yeah,
go on, can they give them a test?
So obviously we see pitches in the FA Cup that we don't normally see. We also saw no VAR. And for people like Don, they're like, oh, thank goodness, no VAR this weekend. We can just enjoy the game. The problem is when you have a tie like Aston Villa against Newcastle, where the referee has such a shocker, it is impossible, isn't it, to back up your argument that we need to go back to the old days where there's no VAR.
Well, I hear you, but there's still mistakes in VAR. I said before, I think
there's no point moaning about it anymore?
Probably not, but I think instead of getting involved too much, you can't micromanage everything. I mean, that's an extreme. What we saw there in that Villa-Newcastle game, that's the extremes to bring it back, isn't it? Like howlers.
Yes.
So when you sit there and you go, what defence have I got? But I guarantee you, I'll be on the show in a week's time looking at a Premier League game or another game around the world, and VAR's messed up a decision from the VAR, not so much the referee. So my angle and my point is, if we can take a little bit of the micromanaging from the VAR and make the referees and the linesmen better, that'll be a better place, I would imagine.
I don't understand.
Make the referees better.
You can't.
You can.
That's why VAR
I get that, but I think the referees now have got a little bit subconscious where they think, that's a big call. I'm not going to make that because VAR will get me out of trouble.
But how
make the call.
How can you stop them?
Because you make the referees better. Referees were better than this, I would imagine, before VAR.
I don't know, Ton. You must have played in so many games in which referees have shots.
Loads, but it is what it is.
So therefore, you've got the back of a VAR now.
Yeah, but the contradiction to that is when you're talking about the modern game and you're criticising the guys that are sat in VAR, they've got 3, 4, 5, 6 chances to look at something where you as an ex-player, you as a pundit or you as a presenter, you can see they've got it wrong. Yet they still stick with their decision, haven't seen a replay 6 times.
Yeah.
So it's on them to improve. It's not like the first year when we went transitional phase. It's not going to be easy for the VAR guys. Referees have got to get used to it. This has been in place a long time now.
So Mario, Don says get rid of VAR. He's had enough of all of the technology. What do you say?
I think, look, there are moments, you understand, we need it, because I think there are definitely crucial moments where we say it's very helpful. But what I do agree with him is that the ref has to be careful that he's not going to hide behind it. Because, come on, this you don't have to be smart to see that penalty kick. Come on, guys, come on. That's like, come on. The linesman stands there. What are you? Now we could go to linesman and say, what are you doing? Are you part of the game or are you just part of the stand? Because then we might as well put you next to the people. Because, come on now, it's not that far from you. And you know what the thing is also? Those are the same guys when you tell them something, oh my God, they let you have it. So I would let him have it too because I'm going, my friend. If you're holding that line, you got to see that the guy is standing in the box. He's jumping. The tackle, if you see at the tackle, how many times did he apologize at the tackle? How many times did he apologize? Why? Look, as a defender, Kieran is there. As a defender, how many times did we apologize? Only when we knew when we were wrong. If not, you don't apologize. But when he goes to apologize 3 times, you know he's wrong. He should have gotten a red card. And that's the same with the handball. Come on now. He walks away, he goes like this. Yeah, he knows his red. Come on, guys. Come on, Dan. Stop. It's red.
Kieran never apologised in his life.
He's got a point. He's got a point. But I mean, I think Don just mentioned then it's been around for a while. How long has it been around for? I mean, I got sent off wrongly mistaken at Stamford Bridge, and that was 2014. Right, so that was 12 years ago. So it's not. It's what, a decade old. In terms of actually how long compared to that it hasn't been around for, it's not that long. So the technology is still maturing, And yes, there are many issues with it, but you can't say that goal line technology wasn't a revolution. Offside as well is, you know, how many goals has that made real over the last 10 years? So for me, I just think there are things that it needs to improve on in terms of the speed. I think the speed is the biggest issue.
Yeah.
You know, because people complain a lot that everyone's waiting around for the decision for so long. But the going back and forth, you know, in terms of using VAR for a month and then having a weekend where there's no VAR, for the referees, they're human. It's human nature to get used to something, and then all of a sudden it's taken away for a week. They're gonna hold their hands up and say, "Oh no, I don't want to make that decision," and that's what's happening at the moment, and that's why the game's getting confused.
Well, that would make sense up until you get to the handball by Lucas Digne, right? You could make that argument up until you get to that handball, and you should be getting that call right 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 10 years ago, or yesterday for that matter. Don was making the argument and saying something along the lines of the modern game as he described the way that the game is played nowadays. Well, if we're going to talk about the modern game, VAR is going to be part of the modern game. We cannot ignore, hide our heads in the sand and say, well, technology all around us, but we are not going to use it. We have to use it better. We have to implement it better. But to say get rid of it because it's somehow against the nature of the game. I'll tell you what's against the nature of the game. Guys diving. I know all about it. Drawing fouls. I know all about it. That's against the nature of the game. And so even a player that benefited from drawing fouls where perhaps there were none, I'm telling you, VAR is better for the game. We need the technology because more times than not, we're going to get calls right that are going to affect your livelihood, my livelihood, and fans, and what clubs are able to achieve. And so I cannot stress enough that if we focus on the amount of time that VAR takes in order to get a call right, we are losing sight of what's important. Yeah, it could be better. Yes, it could be quicker. But what do we want as players? For calls to be made correctly.
Ali, can I take you back very quickly to the Man City-Liverpool game, or Liverpool-Man City game, where, in my opinion, when Mo Salah got put clean through on the right-hand side, and he got tugged on the shirt outside the box, which obviously wasn't a penalty because it was outside the box, but he was denying a goal-scoring opportunity. That went to VAR, and the VAR decided there wasn't enough of a shirt pull. Mo Salah was going to get to that ball. Mo Salah was 2 yards away from the ball. Ruben Diaz was 6 yards away from the ball. Mo Salah was getting there first, and VAR said, no dog zone. But they're still getting things wrong.
So you just get rid of it completely?
No, I wouldn't get... No. I'm not saying get rid of it completely. That's never been my argument. I don't like some of it.
But there's always going to be anomalies because humans are involved. Yeah?
So that the humans have to improve, to Ali's point.
But overall, what you're picking up is on little bits and pieces where
that little bits and pieces were quite significant in that major Premier League game last week.
But the problem is that those little bits of pieces are huge pieces.
Absolutely.
When you don't have VAR.
Yeah, but we had VAR, and that was huge call. Didn't go in Liverpool's favour.
You're ignoring my point here. You have a little problem here, but you have a big problem when there's no VAR.
Well, as I said before, it's not a perfect solution. The referees are human. They're subjective. They're going to make subjective calls. They're going to make honest calls. They're trying their best to make honest calls. But to Ali's point there, when the Kieran Trippier and the free kick and Luca Digne is standing inside his box and you give it outside, the worst one of all of that, I actually thought, was the Tammy Abraham goal that was allowed. Right. Because it's from a static free kick. Everyone can relax.
You've got the 18-yard line.
You've got the 18-yard line if you're the linesman. The referee, I'll give him an out because he's obviously central. But the linesman looking right across the line, you got one eye on the ball, which is the kick point. You got Newcastle's defenders all staying in a straight line. Abraham's 2 yards offside. You have to call it.